then they give it up. And they think that we are done, we are good, we are in good shape. Then they start becoming, the signs of their going in the bad direction is that first they become too much involved in mubahat, then they start to become too much involved in makruhat, minor sins, and then start doing major sins as well, muhrimat. Now the next thing is very important. और चूँकि इस शख्स को एक वक्त तक हक़ ताला से ताल्लुक़ ख़ास रह चुका है, और चूँकि इस शख्स को एक वक्त तक हक़ ताला यानी अल्लाह ताला से ताल्लुक़ ख़ास रह चुका है, मुजाहदा करने वाला अल्लाह ताला से ख़ास ताल्लुक़ का हामिल होता है. One thing is to train your personality. The effect of mujahada is that I am doing this mujahada to train my personality. The effect of that I will see in the future. But right away the effect of mujahada is that you develop a special relationship with Allah. You are trying hard for the sake of who? For Allah. So you already right away have a very special connection with Allah. Allah is looking at you and Allah is admiring the struggle that you are doing for the sake of Allah. Will your personality be trained or not? That's a thing of the future. But right away you have a very special relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a cash reward for mujahada. So, because this person has had a special relationship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they were doing the mujahada, जो पहले मुजाहदे का असर था, this was the effect or the result of their mujahada that they were doing in the past. तो अब इसकी हालत और ज़्यादा बुरी हो जाती है. Now after having given up the mujahada, his state becomes even worse. इसकी हालत और बुरी हो जाती है. और वजह उसकी ये है कि इसमें नक़स यानी मरदूदियत का अंदेशा होता है. Because this carries a risk of being rejected by Allah. Why is this more serious? Take an example. Don't take this personally. I'm just giving an example, whatever is coming in my head. We see that there's people here who are coming for a long time, right? Slowly and gradually they understand the environment here. They understand what is good, what is bad, what are the rules, what are the principles, right? Now they have become a arif of this place. Now they have become they understand. Once they have understood things and then they deliberately do against it, then this will hurt even more. Versus someone who's new, they don't know, right? People do second jamaat here. They're travelers, do we say anything? Nothing. But if you start doing second jamaat here or you start doing second jamaat, what will I do? Stick. Right? So once you know someone, then your potential to hurt them or to make them angry increases much more. जब किसी के आरिफ हो जाते हैं ना, आपको मालूम है क्या चीज़ इसको बुरी लगती है, आप वो चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा, आपकी कैपेसिटी बढ़ गई ना. अब आप अल्लाह के आरिफ हो गए, अल्लाह का ताल्लुक़ नसीब हो गया, अब उल्टी सीधी हरकतें कर रहे हैं, अब हराम काम कर रहे हैं, तो इसका मतलब है कि आप जानबूझ के सब सोच समझ के मालूम है और फिर भी कर रहे हैं. हसनातुल अबरार सय्यातुल मुक़र्रबीन. आम लोगों की नेकियां करीबी लोगों की बुराइयां होती हैं. What a commoner is doing, it might be good for them, but for one who's close, it is a sin for them. पिछली बार भी समझ नहीं आया था ना, ये है ना? मुझे याद आ गया. आपकी वही शक्ल देख के मुझे याद आ गया. पिछली वाली शक्ल देख के आज की शक्ल देख के पिछली शक्ल याद आ गई. When somebody loves you, right? My son, when he grows up, may Allah protect him, but he has the potential to hurt my feelings like no one else. Understand this or not, right? Someone else who's doing something, they do something, I might not care, or it's not going to hurt me. It might be even good for them, right? For example, my son knows that I exactly drink 2 cups of tea in the morning, right? Now another person, He says, he's new, he does not know me, he's going to bring coffee to me. He says, I'm going to, maybe something more valuable, something more like coffee, right? It's good for them. It's a good deed on their part. But if my son brings, instead of those 2 cups of tea, if Nizam brings coffee here, then what are we going to do, right? This is going to be a sin. He has the potential. If he forgets tea, I become mad. So he has the potential to make me mad, right? Anyway, just example, I don't become mad. Or a little I do. Anyway, so जब इस शख्स को हक़ ताला से ख़ास ताल्लुक़ रह चुका है जो उसके पहले मुजाहिदे का असर था, तो अब उसकी हालत और ज़्यादा बुरी हो जाती है. इसमें नक़स यानी मरदूदियत का अंदेशा रहता है, यानी अल्लाह उसको मरदूद भी कर सकते हैं, अंदेशा रहता है. आअज़नल्लाहु मिन, अल्लाह ताला हम पर रहम फरमाए, हमें इससे महफूज रखे. अल्लाह. बस आरिफ जब मकरूहात और मुहर्रमात का इर्तिकाब करता है, उस पर गैर आरिफ से ज़्यादा कहर व इताब होता है. When a person who knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when knowingly they do haram things, then the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also more severe, and that is the real risk. May Allah protect us. इसलिए सालिकीन को खूब समझ लेना चाहिए कि मुजाहिदे की ज़रूरत दायमी है. ये चंद रोज़ का काम नहीं बल्कि उम्र भर का काम है. Therefore, Salikin should understand this really well, that Mujahada is not a short-lived thing of a few days. It is something that has to be done lifelong. देखिए, जिस तरह बीमारी में दवा और परहेज़ की ज़रूरत है, बीमारी से सेहत के बाद भी तो परहेज़ की ज़रूरत है. When one is sick, as explained with another example, that when a person is sick, they need to take medicine, right? And they need to stay away from things that are going to make them more sick. But after they recover, they still have to stay away from things that make them sick. Rather, Hazrat Thanvi Rahmatullahi Alayhi is saying, बल्कि सेहत के बाद परहेज़ की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है. But after recovery, there is even more need for staying away from the things that make you ill. अब ये बात हमें समझ नहीं आएगी, हमने यहाँ तक पढ़ी तो कि भाई जब रिकवर हो गया तो परहेज़ की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत क्यों? चलो ठीक है, उतनी ज़रूरत थी, right? One might think, why is Hazrat saying? This is the beauty of Thani Rahmatullahi. Once he explains it, you see, oh, it's obvious. Why did I not get there? But once he says it, once a person is recovered, then why is Hazrat saying that he needs to do mujahada or stay away from those things that will make him sick even more? At least it should be equal, right? The max should be equal. Why is Hazrat saying he needs to stay away from it even more? Now listen. क्योंकि बीमारी में तो मैदा ख़राब होता है और मुंह का मज़ा बदला हुआ होता है, इसलिए मरीज़ को अनवा व अक़साम में ग़िज़ा की ख्वाहिश ख़ुद भी बहुत कम हो जाती है. और अगर उसने बदपरहेज़ी की भी तो बहुत जल्द नुकसान का एहसास हो जाता है और सेहत के बाद एक गुना क़ुव्वत आ जाती है. बदपरहेज़ी से मान यानी फ़ौरन ज़रर का एहसास नहीं होता, नेज़ इश्तिहा भी हर चीज़ की होती है, तो उस वक्त संभाल की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती है. saying that the reason why a person needs to be even more careful is because when they are sick, the taste is gone, right? The stomach is bad. You don't feel like eating anything. So the struggle, the mujahada to stay away from that which you like is very minimal. But once you've recovered, your stomach is okay, you're tasting things, now there is even more desire. Ishtiha बढ़ जाती है. Now there's more desire towards that food, so you need to struggle even more to stay away from those things that are going to hurt you. किसी को अगर किसी का blood pressure ज़्यादा हो जाता है, right? So yes, he has to stay away from salty things, right? If he's sick, then it's easier. But if he's in his normal health conditions, then everything attracts. Anyway, so after recovery, there is even more need for staying away from or being very careful. It needs more effort to stay away from the things that make you sick. क्योंकि बाज़ दफ़ा सेहत के बाद भी फिर मर्ज़ का ऊद होता है. It is sometimes what happens in medicine as well is that bodily sicknesses go and then they come back, they return. और अतिब्बा ने लिखा है कि ऊद मर्ज़ इब्तिदाए मर्ज़ से ज़्यादा सख्त होता है. And atibba, the people of medicine, they have written that when the sickness comes back, it is more severe than the first bout of sickness, which also holds some medical ground, because reinfections are generally more severe. Reinfections can be more severe, especially if they develop some sort of resistance, then they are even more severe. It's harder to treat. Anyway, इसी तरह आरिफीन ने फरमाया है कि इब्तिदाई मुजाहदे के बाद जब नफ्स इस्लाह पजीर हो जाए, इस्लाह पजीर का मतलब है इस्लाह हुई ना हो लेकिन इस्लाह के रास्ते पे चल पड़ा हो, तो उस वक्त मुजाहदे की पहले से ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि इब्तिदा मुजाहदे में तो बदपरहेज़ी के ज़रर का एहसास जल्द हो जाता है। नीज़ चूँकि उसमें उस वक्त क़ुव्वा नफ़सानिया में क़ुव्वत होती है, इसलिए नफ़सानी ख्वाहिश का तकाज़ा शिद्दत के साथ होता है, तो नफ़सानी ख्वाहिश पर तनब्बो भी जल्द हो जाता है। और मुजाहदे से फ़ारिग होने के बाद चूँकि तकाज़ा नफ्स कमज़ोर हो जाता है, इसलिए हवाए नफ्स का एहसास देर में होता है। अब आपकी समझ में आ गया कि फ़िराग़ मिनल मुजाहदा के बाद मुजाहदे की ज़रूरत पहले से ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि उस वक्त हवाए नफ्स का एहसास देर में होता है। तो बाज़ दफ़ा इसलिए इस्तिरसाल यानी ढील होती रहती है, और इस्तिरसाल के बाद जब हवाए नफ्स का एहसास होता है तो बाज़ दफ़ा नफ्स को रोकने पर कुदरत नहीं पाता, क्योंकि इस शख्स की क़ुव्वत कफ़ कमज़ोर हो चुकी है। इसीलिए मैं कहा करता हूँ कि शहवत शेख शहवत शबाब से अशद है, क्योंकि जवान का नफ्स ज़िंदा है, उसको एहसास भी जल्दी हो जाता है, और एहसास के बाद उसमें क़ुव्वत कफ़ यानी ज़ब्त की क़ुव्वत भी ज़्यादा है, वो अपने को जल्द हवाए नफ़सानी से रोक सकता है। और शेख का नफ्स क्योंकि मर चुका है, इसलिए उसको हवाए नफ्स का एहसास जल्द नहीं होता बल्कि बहुत देर में होता है, तो इस हालत में इस्तिरसाल नफ्स ज़्यादा होता है। फिर इस ढील के बाद शेख को हवाए नफ्स का जिसको एहसास होता है, तो अब वो ज़ब्त पर कादिर नहीं रहता, क्योंकि जिस तरह उस वक्त क़ुव्वत शहवत कमज़ोर है, इसी तरह क़ुव्वत ज़ब्त भी कमज़ोर है। अब वो लाख कोशिश करे कि किसी तरह नफ्स को सूए नज़र से रोकूं, मगर कुदरत नहीं होती। और जवान की जिस तरह शहवत कामिल और ज़िंदा है, इसी तरह क़ुव्वत ज़ब्त भी कामिल और ज़िंदा है। इसी तरह जवान को बूढ़े से ज़्यादा इफ़्फ़त पर कुदरत है, और इसकी इफ़्फ़त शेख की इफ़्फ़त से ज़्यादा कामिल भी होती है, क्योंकि ना इसको ज़्यादा इस्तिरसाल होता है और ना इस्तिरसाल यानी ढीलापन इसके बाद ज़ब्त दुश्वार होता है। बस बूढ़ों को भी मुजाहदे से बेफ़िक्र न होना चाहिए, बल्कि उनको जवानों से ज़्यादा परहेज़ की ज़रूरत है। बस सालिकीन कान खोल कर सुन लें कि मुजाहदे की ज़रूरत चंद रोज़ा नहीं है, बल्कि इसकी ज़रूरत दायमी है। चंद रोज़ा मुजाहदे के बाद अगर तुमने बदपरहेज़ी शुरू की तो याद रखो इसके बाद औद मर्ज़ इस शिद्दत के साथ होगा कि तुमको हलाकत के करीब पहुँचा देगा। फिर बहुत कम हैं जो इस वर्ते से निजात पाएंगे। Building on that example, Hazrat is saying that once a person has done mujahada, and then when they are done with mujahada, it's not okay for them, it's not acceptable for them that they leave mujahada and just let it loose, because once the disease is cured or on the path to be cured, and the desire has become weakened, then the realization of the desire also comes later. When something is strong, it comes with force, you are able to judge, you are able to gauge it early. When something comes slowly because it's weak, then gauging it is also sometimes delayed. Or a person is loose, a person is neglectful and they let it go. And then by the time they realize it, it is hard to stop it, because it has become, this is why I was saying that the shahwat or the desire, the evil desire of an old person is worse or more intense, more severe, more serious than a young person. Why? Because a young person realizes their desire. An old person thinks that I am farigh, I am through, I don't have, so he's not very actively looking out, he's not very actively guarding against desire, and the desire comes slowly and in a very weak dose. But when he does not realize it, it keeps on working. And secondly, this person has lost the willpower or decreased willpower. So Hazrat is saying that it is harder for an old person to lower his gaze than for a young person, because the young person, although they have a strong desire, they also have a strong self-control. And therefore Hazrat is saying that iffat, chastity, sometimes it is more perfect in young people than in old people, because number one, they are not lazy, they don't let it be. Secondly, they have a tight grip, they have a tighter grip. Therefore, as I was saying, that listen to it very clearly, that Mujahada is not something that you do for a short while and then give it up. This is something that you have to do. If you stop doing mujahada and start being careless and start doing sins, then remember that the sickness will return with full force, even more force, and it will make you reach close to destruction. And very few people are then saved. May Allah protect us. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. आखिर दम तक इस राह में तराशो खराश ही चाहिए. Up to the last breath you have to struggle. There is a struggle, there is friction, there is cutting, there is erosion in this path. बस जब सलामती के साथ मौत आ जाएगी उस वक्त मुजाहदे से फरागत नसीब होगी. When you will die securely and peacefully, then you will be relieved of mujahada. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. You've created a human being in constant struggle. Constant struggle. As long as you are living here, there is constant struggle. Don't think that you will get comfort. Don't think that you will get comfort. Whatever you get of comfort, give thanks to Allah. Ask Allah for comfort. Ask Allah to protect us from mujahada and striving. But be ready. And constantly, there will be some mujahada. One thing will be going good, the other thing will be going bad. Two things will be going good, one thing will be going bad. Always the case. इस पर शायद कोई ये एतराज़ करे कि जब मुजाहदे के बाद भी मुजाहदे की ज़रूरत है तो फिर साहिब मुजाहदा यानी मुजाहदा करने वाले और गैर साहिब मुजाहदा यानी मुजाहदा ना करने वाले में फ़र्क ही क्या हुआ? Someone might ask that if that is the case, that you have to constantly do mujahada, then what's the difference between a person doing mujahada and a person not doing the mujahada? Hazrat is saying, इसका जवाब ऊपर की तकरीर में आ चुका है. The answer to this has been already mentioned. I will not ask you. दोनों में वही फ़र्क है जो बीमार के परहेज़ में और बीमारी से सेहत पाने वाले के परहेज़ में है. The difference is that when a person is sick versus a person is recovered, both have to stay away from the things that make you sick. That the same is the difference. The need to stay away from what makes you sick, the need is there for the sick person and for the healthy person as well. मगर जाहिर है कि बीमार को ज़्यादा सख्त ज़रूरत है, उसका परहेज़ भी सख्त होता है और सेहत पाने के बाद गो कदरे परहेज़ की ज़रूरत रहती है, मगर अब इतना परहेज़ नहीं होता जितना बीमारी की हालत में था. And this is what Hazrat used to say, and we have read it many times, कि शुरू में सख्ती के साथ मुजाहदा करने से आहिस्ता 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 अल्लाह ताला काबू दे देते हैं. नफ्स के घोड़े पे काबू आ गया, अब वो भी ट्रेन हो गया, आप भी एक्लेमेटाइज हो गए. तो अब क्या है कि थोड़ी सी कोशिश से वो काबू में आ जाता है. तो जो शख्स बीमार है, व्हेन अ पर्सन इज सिक, he needs to stay away from those things that make him sick very strictly. He needs to stay away from them. Active phase of disease is ongoing. Once the disease has remitted, once the disease is in remission, then he still needs to stay away, but not as much as the sick person. So when a person is going through active disease, active sickness, there is a lot more need to do mujahada, and that mujahada brings them out of the disease. If they did not do mujahada, so this is the difference. If they did not do mujahada in the first place, they will remain sick. The difference is that with their initial mujahada, they came out of the sickness. Now the mujahada is to only stay away from the sickness, to maintain health. So therefore, when a person, Hazrat Arifi Rahmatullahi Alayhi, may Allah bless him, he used to say कि मैंने अपने आप को बहुत अरसे तक इस बात की आदत डाली है, मैंने अपने आप को, I have trained myself, I have forcefully trained myself, then I would not talk to anyone looking at their face. Young, old, man, woman, whoever would come, I would lower my gaze and talk to them like that. I will never look at the face of anyone. No man, beard, no beard. Woman, there's no question about women. He said, now my heart's condition is that when I slightly look up, I feel I'm talking to a statue. I feel like I'm talking to a statue, not a human, not a real human being, of someone made of stone. I have done this mujahada. So this is mujahada. That what Hazrat did it for 20 years. where he would not look at any face and talk, lower his gaze. Now he says that I sometimes look at the face of the person who's talking, right? But still, he will not look at a non-mahram. That mujahada is still there, right? So 20 years of active treatment. Now he is in the phase of remission, where the disease has been cured, but now it's क्या कहते हैं वो परहेज. What is better than cure? Prevention. So now he's in the preventive phase, where he's just doing this preventative therapy, where he's not, he sometimes looks at people, but does not look at, of course, the non-mahrams. Allah. So this is the difference, that once you are in active disease, you have to work hard. Then the need for mujahada still remains, but it decreases and you get the control of it. अलबत्ता तंदुरुस्ती के बाद जिस तरह हकीम कह दिया करता है कि अब तुमको हर चीज़ से तो परहेज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ फ़लाँ फ़लाँ अशिया से परहेज़ रखना, क्योंकि वो तुम्हारी तबीयत के ख़िलाफ़ है, तुमको पड़ती नहीं है. इसी तरह साहिब मुजाहदा को यहाँ कहा जाता है कि तुमको बिल्कुल बेफिक्र ना होना चाहिए, बल्कि थोड़ा बहुत परहेज़ अब भी ज़रूरी है, जो कुछ दुश्वार परहेज़ नहीं है बल्कि मामूली और सहल है. सिमिलरली, just like a doctor says that you don't have to stay away very strictly from everything, but there are certain things that you have to stay away from. Similarly, a salik is also told that you, when they have come out of that active phase of sickness, they are told that you don't necessarily have to do a very strict mujahada, but there are certain things that you still have to stay away from. Some people, when we are doing live, they say salam and ask some questions. So we don't monitor the comments. We don't monitor the comments actively. If you have some questions, you can leave in the comments and we can respond later if something is worth responding to. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursaleen, Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim, wa tub alayna innaka antat tawwabur rahim, wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi sayyidina wa mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ameen bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahim. Any general questions? Okay, alhamdulillah.